Hello dear students, today I am going to talk about endosperm. In the previous video session we have studied about the double fertilization. Hope you understood. Two types of fertilization takes place within the embryo sac. In this session I am going to talk about post fertilization event in flowering plants. Particularly in post fertilization event there are four different stages you see. First one is formation of the endosperm. Second one is formation of the embryo from the zygote. Third one is the ovule transforms itself into a seed. Fourth one is ovary develops into fruit. Okay, so these are the four steps of post fertilization. So here I am going to explain about endosperm. Okay, so endosperm. To explain this, first we draw the diagram of embryo sac. This is the chalazal side, this is the micropylar side. Okay, so within the micropylar side what you see is you see two cells, two synergids, one egg cell, and this is the polar nuclei, and these are all the antipodals. Okay, so before the double fertilization or before the triple fusion, these two nuclei are called as polar nuclei. When the male gamete is traveling inside this embryo sac, these two polar nuclei will fuse and form secondary nucleus, that is the ploidy is 2n. Now what will happen? The male gamete will fuses with the secondary nucleus. As a result it forms triple fusion, it forms pen. What is pen? Primary endosperm nucleus. What is the ploidy? 3n, correct. Now what will happen? Pen undergoes free nuclear division. Free nuclear division means only the nucleus starts dividing without forming any cell wall around it. Okay, so as a result of free nuclear division, what will happen? This one particular primary endosperm nucleus starts producing many nucleus, and these are all free actually. That means there is no cell wall around it. And what you call this? You call it as free nuclear endosperm. You may get this question, what is the ploidy of free nuclear endosperm? That is 3n. Okay, now what happens to this free nuclear? I'm going to draw it again. This is actually the free nuclear endosperm. Now once many cells are produced, each nucleus starts producing cell wall around it. Many cell wall will be produced. So you see many cells are produced now. You got it? So this is a stage where the free nuclear endosperm is transforming into free or primary endosperm cell. Okay, so now cells are produced and we should call it as primary endosperm cell. These primary endosperm cell again undergoes mitosis. You know what is mitosis? Cell division, and produces more number of primary endosperm cells. Got it? All these events are taking place inside the embryo sac. This is very important. And ultimately what happens? The number of cells increases, the tissue also, the mass of the tissue also increases, which ultimately makes endosperm. Now what is the ploidy of this? 3n. What is the ploidy of this? 3n. Correct. So this is actually called as the formation of endosperm. The entire event is the formation of the endosperm. Got it? So what is the function of endosperm here? Why we need endosperm here? We need endosperm because to provide nutrition to the developing embryo cells within this particular embryo cell. Here you know that another male gamete fuses with this egg cell. As a result zygote is produced. Zygote will undergo mitosis to produce large number of embryo. Large number of cells to produce the embryo, correct? So ultimately embryo is produced. For this embryo somebody or someone should provide the nutrition, otherwise the formation of the embryo will not take place. So endosperm will provide nutrition to the embryo or developing embryo. This is the major function of this endosperm. Right here the main function is provide nutrition to the developing embryo. That is the function. Another important thing to note is formation of endosperm takes place first. Formation of endosperm takes place first. After you see embryogenesis. After you see embryogenesis. First is endosperm formation, later you see embryo. Instead of writing this, we better write later. Later embryogenesis takes place. Why like that? Because somebody should be prepared for providing nutrition to the embryo, correct? So that someone is the endosperm. Endosperm provides nutrition to the embryo. This is very important. Then coming to the types Types of endosperm. This is only for NEET. It's only for NEET. Okay, you have to remember with example. There are three types. The first type is free nuclear endosperm. Simple. I will not explain this. Whatever I have explained here is the free nuclear endosperm. You may get a question like, give one example for free nuclear endosperm. I'm talking about this now. Free nuclear endosperm. Simple. See here, I have got a coconut. I have got a coconut here, and you could see the water. What you see is the free nuclear endosperm. As the coconut matures, what happened? The free nuclear endosperm, undergoes this particular stage, that is for producing primary endosperm cell. See, these are all the primary endosperm cell. Okay, ultimately primary endosperm cell makes the endosperm. So this white thing in the coconut is called as the kernel, and the liquid, the water, is actually primary or free what I call free nuclear endosperm. This is free nuclear endosperm. You got it? Okay, I'll put some color here. Okay, so this is free nuclear endosperm, and this is actually the endosperm. Because of this has formed. Correct? Okay, so remember it. More the water present in the coconut, that means actually it has got more number of free nucleus. Got it? So more number of more mass, the white mass you see, that is actually the endosperm. Got it? Okay, so example for free nuclear endosperm is cotton. Just remember it. The second type is, oh, it's not working. Okay, so the second type is, keep the coconut. Okay, cellular endosperm. The second type is cellular endosperm. Very simple actually. Compared to the free nuclear endosperm formation, cellular endosperm formation is faster. How? Simple. The pen, I will take one primary endosperm nucleus which undergoes free nuclear endosperm, which actually undergoes free nuclear division, actually FND. Okay, and ultimately it produces only two nuclei. Okay, so this one pen produces two nuclei. Once the two nuclei are produced, it is going to produce cell wall around it. Got it? It will not wait until it produces more number of nuclei. It just forms the cell wall around it. Okay, so this is actually cellular endosperm. What happens to the cellular endosperm? Again, it undergoes mitosis and starts producing many number of this one, what you call primary endosperm cell, and primary endosperm cell ultimately produces endosperm. Example for cellular endosperm, datura. In datura you see this kind of endosperm. Okay, the third one is halobial endosperm. So what is this halobial endosperm? Simple, here I'm going to take one pen here. Okay, so primary endosperm nucleus which undergoes free FND, free nuclear division, produces two, again same two nuclei actually. So these two nuclei starts producing the cell wall around it. Same, right? Almost same compared to the cellular endosperm. Same, exactly same. But remember, one of the cell which is closer to the micropylar region, and we call this micropylar endosperm cell. Got it? Okay, because it is closer to the micropylar region, and this particular cell is closer to the chalazal region, and we call it as chalazal primary endosperm cell. Okay, so now here the chalazal endosperm cell will not undergo any mitosis. It will remain as it is. But which one undergoes division? The micropylar endospermic cell, which undergoes mitosis to produce many cells. Ultimately it produces endosperm. Very important now. Halobial endosperm, the micropylar sided, this particular endospermic cell produces the endosperm, not the chalazal sided. Remember it. Got it? Okay. So ultimately endosperm is produced. Remember the point and everything. Okay. Example for this halobial one is all monocots. In all monocots you see this. A good specific example is Erumerus. Erumerus is a type of monocot which exhibit halobial endosperm. Here the good example for free nuclear endosperm is coconut water, whereas good example for primary endosperm cell is the kernel of the coconut. Correct? The kernel, the white thing, white color thing, what you see in the coconut. Okay, so that's all about the endosperm and the types.